if I told you that a starving man once stole food meant for the dead, and the dead came back to claim his body? Welcome back to Ghostasian, where we bring you true, chilling tales from across Asia. Tonight, we travel deep into the misty countryside of Vietnam, where an act of hunger turned into a decades-long nightmare. This is the story locals still whisper about, the story they call the borrowed body. In the rural countryside of Soch Trang decades ago, there was a family so poor that everyone in the village pitied them. The man of the house was known simply as Uncle Tam. He spent his whole life working from dawn to dusk, but no matter how hard he worked, poverty clung to him like a shadow. One hot afternoon, with the sun blazing overhead, Uncle Tam went down to the river to check his fishing traps. As he stood by the bank, something slowly floated toward him. When it got closer, he realized it was a spirit-offering boat, a small ritual boat that people send drifting on the river to make offerings to wandering spirits and restless souls. On the boat lay incense, rice, salt, fruit, and liquor. But what caught Uncle Tam's hungry eyes was a golden rooster, tied and still, waiting as part of the offering. He looked around. The river was empty, silent. A voice inside told him this was not for the living, that touching it would bring misfortune. But hunger spoke louder. He waded in, dragged the boat to shore, spilled the offerings into the river, grabbed the rooster, and carried it home. That night, his wife cooked it. The whole family ate until their stomachs were full. Uncle Tam laughed and said, "It's just a chicken floating on the river. If we don't eat it, it's a waste." They did not know that this single act would be the start of a curse that would haunt their family forever. From that day on, tragedy struck again and again. Every son born to the family died young. Some convulsed and stopped breathing in the middle of the night. Some never woke from sleep. Neighbors whispered, "The spirits are taking Uncle Tam's sons." By the fourth tiny grave in the backyard, his wife had no more tears left to cry. When she became pregnant for the 5th time, she went quietly to the temple and prayed, begging the heavens to let her child live. The baby was born weak and sickly, but he survived past his 1st birthday. The family rejoiced. But not long after, Uncle Tam suddenly suffered a stroke and was left paralyzed, unable to speak or move except for his eyes. The house became heavy with grief. But worse things were coming. One cloudy afternoon, with light rain tapping on the roof, something strange happened. From the quiet room where Uncle Tam lay bedridden, a loud noise echoed. His wife rushed in and froze. Uncle Tam was sitting upright. His eyes were wide, whites showing, mouth gaping. He slowly walked into the kitchen without a word, grabbed the huge pot of hot porridge on the stove, and devoured the entire thing in minutes. Then he went outside, bent over the big water jar, and drank nearly 4 liters of rainwater without stopping. No one dared move. When he was done, he He went back to his bed, lay down, and closed his eyes, as if nothing had happened. After that night, the smell started. A rotting stench filled the house. Chickens and ducks began to vanish one by one. Every night there were sounds, heavy dragging footsteps in the yard, scratching on the wooden walls. One day, the eldest daughter, bathing her father, screamed, "Mom, his skin is peeling off." Uncle Tam's flesh had turned gray. Rotten skin slewed off in wet chunks, and the smell of death clung to him. A neighbor woman who knew about spirits came over, looked for a long moment, and said in a trembling voice, "He's possessed by a hungry ghost. It's using his body to eat, to live inside this house." The family didn't want to believe it. But that night, the eldest daughter woke to see a horrifying sight. Through the cracks in her wooden wall, her father's face appeared. His blank white eyes stared at her, his tongue slowly licking along the wood, his gaze fixed on her. She screamed. The family rushed in, but when they lit the oil lamp, Uncle Tam was gone. By morning, he was lying on the bed again, as if he had never moved. Terrified, the family brought in a well-known spiritual master. The old man frowned as soon as he entered. "The dark energy here is strong. This spirit is fierce. We must drive it out now, or the whole family will suffer." He ordered them to lock Uncle Tam inside the room, light incense and candles, and wait until they burned out completely. The family sat outside, shivering. Wind whistled through the cracks. Inside the room came scratching noises, pounding, something dragging across the floor. When the last stick of incense went out, the master shouted for them to open the door. Inside, Uncle Tam's body was stiff, eyes staring wide. His skin had shriveled tight over bone, his corpse dried as if it had been dead for weeks. The master calmly said, "It's done. The spirit has left. What you see is only a shell now." They buried him soon after. The house was abandoned and left to rot. No one dared live there again. Years later, a school was built near the property. One of the students, named N, was given the key to the classrooms. One stormy night, and went in to clean. As the beam of his flashlight swept across the room, he froze. Wet, muddy children's footprints trailed up the wall and across the ceiling. In one corner were long, dark smears of dried blood. The next day, he told his classmates. They didn't believe him, saying he made it up. But from then on, 2 of the classrooms near the old house were kept locked. Moss grew thick on the doors. Vines crawled over the windows, and no one ever used them again. Even today, the elders in that village warn, if you see a spirit-offering boat drifting on the water, leave it alone. Never take offerings meant for the dead, because once a hungry ghost follows you home, it will never let you go.